So this is Diane. Diane came from a different school where they utilize PowerSchool and we use the SIS system. So we're going to walk her through some of the basics of SIS today so that she knows how to navigate that. The first thing that you need to know is all of your classes with your roster size are listed right here on the right hand side. If you want to actually see your roster of students, you can click the little people icon just to the left and that'll load up the roster that you have.
Okay.
And then from here, you have a couple of options for things that you can do. So if you wanted to send an email to all the parents in this class, you could click the little email icon there, and that would pull up a screen that would allow you to draft an email to all of the parents in that class.
No, that's good.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and hit back. All right, go ahead and hit the home page, which is the little house up at the top near view and maintain. Right up there at the top.
Okay, I see it.
Mm-hmm. Click that one more time. And the next most important thing that I use most frequently is accessing the gradebook. So you can click the little red book next to each hour that you want to view. And it looks like we don't have permission to edit the gradebook yet because we're over the summer. So we'll talk about that at some other time.
Okay.
The next most important thing is looking students up. This will come into play when you're doing grade checks and things like that. So if you click the little card at the left side, just beside the parents there at the top, this little card icon there. And then that'll let you look up a student by last name and first name. We'll go ahead and look up Landon Fatino. So we'll type in Fatino and then Landon. And so
and it even gives a picture.
Gives a picture so you know you're on the right kid. It'll give his parents' contact information if you need to make a phone call home. For whatever reason, you can do that from this site. From here, if you wanted to access various things about Landon, the gradebook is probably the most important thing, which is that orange book there, just beside what you clicked.
So.
Yeah, go ahead and click the gradebook. And so you can see what classes he's in. Maybe he forgot what his next hour is, or you want to check all his grades. You can click on each individual thing. It'll show you his grades for that class, or you can click show term grade for all classes, and it'll pop up all of his classes. Other things that we can look up about individual students, if you click the calendar icon, you can get their attendance. So if you want to see if they were gone a certain day, or you need to check to see if they have their 90% attendance for their incentive awards, you can do that from the attendance page. A lot of times students will forget their locker combination and their locker number. You can access that information by clicking the locker up at the top. And looks like we don't have permission for that yet with it being the next school year. They haven't issued lockers yet. The next thing that I'll show you is the little clipboard with the paper. One thing that our administration has us do is document any contacts that we make. So if you have a conference with this student or you contact their parents, you need to document that you've made that contact. So anytime you send a parent email, anytime you give a phone call to a parent, pull that student up, click the clipboard, and then click new log entry. Go ahead and do that right now so you can see what that screen looks like.
Okay, and you can attach the email that you sent the parents?
Yeah, typically what I'll do is I'll just copy paste it into this box. If you click use current date and time, if you're doing it right after that contact, it'll automatically upload the date and time. Then under the drop down box for contact type, that's where you specify whether it was an email, a phone call, or something like that. And then it'll ask you for the contact person in the next drop down box. in the next box, you can see all sorts of options for who you contacted. Do you have any questions so far?
No, I don't.
Okay. That is most of what I use SIS for. The next, there's two other things that I do check sometime, and that'll be the A+ right there.
Do you have a lot of students in the A+ program?
I would say probably over half of our students are in the A+ program. This will give you their grades for the term, but if you click credits and GPA on the left side there, a lot of times students want to know what their GPA is and what their class rank is. So you can see that this student here, I'm not going to violate FERPA and tell the GPS in front of the whole camera here, but you could see that. And then other things that are important is this clipboard here, or this little safety pin. That's special education documents, so if a student does have an IEP or a 504, you can access their accommodations and things like that from there. So that is a general run through of what SIS looks like. The last thing that I think we need to go over is how to send things to the discipline office in the event that you have a student that's misbehaving. So in the top near view and maintain, go ahead and scroll up to that drop down, and then you'll see discipline referrals. And it looks like it's going to take a little bit to load.
Okay,
there it is. And then you'll click new referral. And we don't have permission to grant students referrals for this upcoming school year, but how the box would look is you'll click new referral, and then it'll pop you back to that screen where you type in last name, first name, and then you could do that from there.
And it shows all the discipline that each teacher.
Yeah, all the previous discipline that has been given. We'll go ahead and just look at last year's stuff so you can kind of see what the grade book looks like for last year. So it's loading. And so you'll see term grades, semester grades, progress grades. If you want it to make a new assignment, you would click the little plus button just above assignments.
Okay.
And then under assignment type, that's where you specify whether it was homework, maybe a test, or some type of formative or summative assessment. So we'll just call this one homework. And then in the assignment description box, you would title it with whatever name the assignment is. And then you could assign the base points. So if it was a 10-point assignment or a 100-point assignment, you would change that in base points. And then you could put a due date in there. So after that would be created, you just hit done, and that populates the assignment. So we'll just go ahead and call this like SIS Training. We'll make it a 0-point homework assignment. Go ahead and change the EOC type to homework and that drop down where it says EOC.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and we need to put a due date in there. So click the little calendar and let's change June back to March, just so that it will say that we're within the year. We'll go March 1st, why not?
Okay.
And then hit done in the top section there, just above the green bar.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We're rushing through it. We'll give you notes for this.
Okay.
And so now the assignment has been made. If you want to input grades for that assignment, we got to find it over here in the right. And so there it is showing as pending. What I like to do is just click that column, and then you can edit scores by the column. Instead of doing it one student at a time, you can just type in all of their grades.
Oh, that's great.
So
A little time saver.
Yeah. And that is a basic rundown of the SIS system compared to Power School. It's definitely not the most user-friendly system, but with a little practice and a few notes, you'll get the hang of it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No, I don't think so, but thank you for showing me this.
Yeah, absolutely.